to direct the day-to-day functioning of the agency responsible for preventing and investigating terror attacks, responding to mass shootings, investigating international drug cartels and gangs, thwarting cyber attacks, and arresting violent criminals and investigating public corruption, among other things. Donald Trump has tapped a podcaster and right-wing media personality who once said this, quote, my entire life right now is owning the libs. That person is named Dan Bongino.
The only thing that matters is what? Chat. What matters? Anyone? Power.
Seems like a nice guy.
Ukraine has agreed to a mineral rights deal with the United States, a deal that they had originally refused due to it stripping them of $500 billion on future wealth without any security guarantee. So why have they agreed, even after Trump called Zelensky a dictator?
President Donald Trump today denounced Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as a dictator as he tried to pressure Kyiv to accept the terms of a deal to end the war with Russia. It comes a day after Mr. Trump falsely claimed Ukraine started the war.
Even after the United States voted against Ukraine at the United Nations.
America's changing stance on the war in Ukraine has been highlighted at the United Nations, where its UN envoy voted twice alongside Russia. First, the two countries opposed a European drafted resolution condemning Moscow's actions and supporting Ukraine's territorial integrity. Then they backed a US resolution calling for an end to the conflict but containing no criticism of Russia.
And among the other countries that voted no were North Korea, Russia, Hungary, and Belarus, and the list goes on. And what this resolution said was that Russia invaded Ukraine and also did have language in there that suggested that Russia should leave Ukraine and it should go back to the borders before Russia invaded.
And even after Trump struck a deal with Putin without Ukraine even in the room. So why would Ukraine agree now? Now let's be clear, the US dropped the $500 billion revenue demand, but secured joint ownership rights of future mineral extractions. The only reason they bent the knee is to keep US economic ties intact, giving Trump motivation to refrain from fully siding with Russia.
To direct the day-to-day functioning of
Oh, well, that seems based on merit now, doesn't it?
Merit-based hiring.
Announced over the weekend on the 23rd, Trump picked Dan Bongino as the next deputy director of the FBI.
Now, it's important to note that in the Bureau's 117-year history, the FBI's second in command has always been a career agent with the kind of institutional knowledge necessary to actually run the Bureau's operations, which makes total sense. The last full-time deputy director, Paul Abate, had logged 25 years with the Bureau before being appointed to the position. Before him, Deputy Director David Bowditch had 23 years at the Bureau under his belt. Before him, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe had 20 years of experience. And before him, Deputy Director Mark Giuliano with 25 years of experience in the job. That's what he came in with. Now, Dan Bongino's resume, on the other hand, includes 2 years working for the New York Police Department, 12 years in the Secret Service, 3 unsuccessful runs as a Republican candidate for office, and about a decade as a far-right MAGA pundit.
After Bongino left the Secret Service, he ran as a Republican for U.S. Senate in Maryland. Failed. Runs for House. Failed. Moved to Florida. Hey, they'll eat this shit up. Run for House again. Failed. In the fucking primary. After he launched the Dan Bongino Show, he later published a book titled Spygate, The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump. In this book, he argued that the FBI and Obama colluded to spy on Trump's campaign. The proof that he provided for these claims amounted to nothing. He had nothing. He had no proof. Because Trump's own DOJ in his first term had multiple investigations and had nothing to show for it. Both him and Kash Patel have zero experience within the FBI. Now, he's an idiot. Just a fucking stupid man who sucked at political commentary so much that Fox News didn't make him a host and only found success spouting logical fallacies on Rumble to conservatives for a living. He should be nowhere close to power. He is a fraud. I control you and I control elites. Good night.
The conspiracy theories, the outrage, the tightness of the T-shirts, all of it surely floats Donald Trump's boat and is music to his ears. It's likely part of the very essence of the reason he was selected.